Hello, everybody, and a warm welcome along to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster. I am looking forward to more great racing. Saturdays is always good racing, isn't it? And it's the Air Gold Cup meeting in particular on Saturday. Very good racing at Newbury as well, actually. And I've got two selections for you. If you happen to be finding us for the very first time, then do press the subscribe key just below this screen. You'll be able to get my free selections whenever I offer them. Last weekend, there were two selections, and the stewards helped us out because I put up Someway for 3 places in the St. Ledger, and after getting a bump close home, it was promoted to 3rd place. So we got our money back on that one. Unfortunately, the other one, Agrapart Gold, didn't run quite so well in the Portland Handicap, but that's the way things go when you're tipping them at very decent prices, as I do. Now, 2 tips again I have for you this weekend at Sportsbet, but there are 4 more over at Out in Front, where at Out in Front we're now just 10 days short of our 2nd anniversary for the subscription service. And so far in year 2, I can tell you that we've had 9 winning months out of 11. And the tally at the end of August, to the level £10 each way stakes for most bets and the occasional £10 win, is a very impressive profit of £1,513 to the recommended stakes. Now, there are very few services that can offer that kind of success. So if you're interested in buying into a piece of the action for a very modest amount, then click the description box just below this screen and you'll be able to sign up and join in time for tomorrow's racing on Saturday, where there are 4 tips, including for the Air Gold Cup and other big races. Well, actually, I'm interested in 2 runners in the Air Gold Cup, one of which I'm presenting to you here for free at Sportsbet. Now, in the Air Gold Cup, the 3:35 race at Ascot, one of the big sprint handicaps of the year, there are 25 runners, and you can take your pick of a whole host of decent sprint handicappers in a typically wide open renewal. The draw may play a part. The evidence of the Bronze Cup on Friday was that possibly the far side may have an advantage. That's low numbers, low to middle. But as we've seen in previous years, it doesn't always repeat itself one day after another. And depending if there's any rain or if they water the track or if there's a lot of pace in particular on the stand side, things could change. So we'll see. But the early favourite is American Affair, who flew home under the red-hot Paul Mulrennan to land a last gasp success in last Saturday's Portland Handicap. That was at Doncaster, trained by Jim Goldie, who's been in cracking form. He's been having winners this week at Ayr. He had 1-2 in one of the handicaps on Friday. And I'm quite sure that American Affair will go well, but he's probably not great value. Jim also runs Jordan Electrics, who he's done a wonderful job with this season. He's won 7 handicaps with Jordan Electrics, and that takes some doing. He was also a very good second in a red-hot race at the Ebor meeting behind J.M. Jungle last time out. Now, Kevin Ryan has won this race, the Air Gold Cup, twice in the last 9 years. Another of his runners have gone close. This year he's got 4. They include a couple of 3-year-olds that are of interest, Room Service and Sergeant Wilco. Room Service, returning after a breathing op, might prefer a slightly easier ground, but still could be a player, while Sergeant Wilco is going for his 5th win of the season, horse in great form. He's got a £5 penalty for his defeat at Tuckerid Bay at Goodwood last month, both capable of getting involved. For the record, the other Ryan runners are Ali's Dancer, who finished 12th in the race last year, and also another 3-year-old called Jahangir, whose chance has been enhanced a little bit because he's drawn low, and that might be a slight advantage. Michael Dodd's another trainer who runs 4. They include the top weight, very classy Comanche Falls. He's also got Northern Express, who's gone up £4 for a tremendous win over 7 furlongs at Ascot last time out in the International Handicap. Had a bit of a break since then, freshened it up. Whether he'll be quite as effective over the 6 furlongs, I'm not quite sure. We'll have to see. One horse who is effective at the trip is Orazio, trained by Charles Hills. He's capable, but things have to drop right for him. And 2 of Richard Fahey's runners in the race, excuse me, Dare to Hope and Ramazan were 1st and 2nd in the Great St Wilfrid Handicap a couple of weeks ago at Ripon. Ramazan had previously finished 8th in the Stewards' Cup at Goodwood. He could be a danger to all, as too could Billy O, trained by Michael Appleby, who was 3rd in the Stewards' Cup and then got very badly hampered at York last time, so you can ignore that. There's also the front runner Lethal Levi for Carl Burke, who's enjoyed a successful campaign and was a good winner over 7 furlongs at Newbury last time. Now, as I said, I'm going to be backing 2 in the race. One I'm recommending to clients over at Out in Front. The other one, though, I present you here, and that is the John and Zadie Gosden trained Mustab Shear, who I think is set to run another really big race, having come home well after making a hash of the start in the Stewards Cup. He finished fast into 4th behind Get It, and since then he's had a 7-week break to freshen him up, and hopefully he'll be raring to go. Now, at Royal Ascot in June, he put up another very good effort, over 7 furlongs in the Buckingham Palace handicap when he was 4th to English Oak in a 26-runner field. So here we have a horse, Mustab Shear, who is not frightened of being in amongst them in a big field. You know, a horse who likes a bit of a street fighter, likes to get in and get dirty. And with Jim Crowley on, who's as tough a jockey as there is out there, I think he's going to run really well. Now, he's drawn in stall 15 is Mustab Shear, which isn't a bad draw. And it means that he can follow the pace, which we expect probably will be centred to far side. It remains to be seen, although, as we saw with Bielsa a few years ago, if one really goes for it coming up the stands rail, you just never know. But Mustab Shear is the one I fancy, and he's offered 12 to 1 each way for 6 places. I'm just checking on the prices as I speak to you now. Mustab Shear, 12 to 1. Yeah, that's available with plenty of firms each way for 6 places. I can tell you that American Affair rate remains favourite at around 5 to 1. They're betting 10 to 1 bar 1 in the Gold Cup at 3.35. Now, my one other selection is going to be at Newmarket, and that's at 3.55. The 2.25 mile Cesarewitch trial handicap is on good ground, 12 runners. And the winner of staying handicaps at Goodwood and Ascot this summer, Andrew Balding's Tactician, was a good 6th. Last time out in the well-contested Melrose handicap, which is a top 3-year-old handicap over 1 mile and 3/4 at the Ebor fixture. He stayed on really well at the finish. However, he's being asked here to go an extra half mile. He looks as though he'll stay the way he came home at York, but you just never know until they're asked to step into that unknown territory. So for me, he's a bit of a skinny prize, or he certainly was last time I looked, because he was 6 to 4 early doors, and there's not much of that left, to be honest. He's sort of 11 to 8 best now. For me, that's a bit skinny for a horse that's not done the distance. Now, Tactician's main market rival is Sir Mark Prescott's Trooper Bisdee, who we know stays really well. He's actually won 6 of his last 10 starts since he's gone handicapping. No stamina doubts, he's a 4-year-old. He was sent off 5 to 2 favourite, do you remember, in midsummer for the Northumberland Plate. Came there with a chance going down to the furlong pole, but then didn't go on. Maybe he just isn't as good these days on the all-weather. He clearly ran below par that day, so there may have been a reason. And he's been given a bit of time to recover. And Sir Mark Prescott is such a shrewdie, you certainly wouldn't rule out Trooper Bisdee going well. Now, Ian Jardine, who's got a host of runners at Ayr over the 3 days, has sent his Bring Back Memories all the way down to Newmarket from Scotland. And this horse has been in very good form of late. They won his 2nd race from his last 3 starts, keeping on really well to score at Musselburgh last time, and is now £2 higher, but does go up in class, which is a concern. Story Horse for William Knight isn't an easy ride, but he is quite interesting, stepping up from 1 mile and 3/4, and he's got ability, and if he stays, he might get involved. While Shag Pile, brilliantly named horse, trained by William Muir, would appreciate some ease in the ground. So unless it rains, and there have been some storms forecast, but you just don't know if they're going to hit, I think he's got a task on his hands, Shag Pile. My choice here is a horse called Premier Lean, who's trained by Hughie Morrison and is the mount of Hector Crouch. I think he looks the each-way value. He ran really well last time out in the Goodwood handicap over 2.5 miles at the Glorious Meeting. And prior to that, he'd shown steady, progressive form in handicaps at around 1.5 miles. Now, whatever it was that Hughie Morrison saw in the horse that said to him, step the horse up 1 mile from 1.5 miles to 2.5 miles at Glorious Goodwood, he was fully vindicated, was Morrison, because It paid rich dividends at Goodwood, the 5-year-old coming bursting out of the main body of the field to go in pursuit of the clear leader, Master Milliner, who's a thorough stayer. In the end, Premier Lean ran on very well to be second, so there are no stamina doubts about Saturday's race. He's coming back now from a 7-week break. He's off just a £3 higher mark. And I think Premier Lean is absolutely unexposed at this trip, so he may well improve considerably for it. And 6-1 is offered each way with a number of firms for 4 places, including Bet365, 888, William Hill, and Corals as well, last time I looked. So those are my 2 free selections for you here at Sportsbet on Saturday. As I said, if you want to join me at Out in Front, click on the description box below this screen and click on the link to sign up. And as I mentioned at the top of this piece, we're over £1,500 up at Out in Front to the level stakes in the second year of trading from the 1st of October, and we're coming towards the end of year 2. So it certainly is paid to be with me at Out in Front. Anyway, here at Sportsbet, where I hope it will get profitable this Saturday, I'm going to say goodbye and wish you a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye now.